If you're over 65 and still reaching for that bowl of mixed nuts without a second thought, you may want to stop right now. Some nuts are nutritional gold mines that can sharpen your mind, protect your heart, and even reduce the risk of certain age-related diseases. Well, let's just say they might be working against you, clogging your arteries, irritating your digestion, or quietly draining your energy. And here's the kicker, they all look the same in the snack aisle. Hi, I'm your virtual dietitian and health advisor, and today we're separating the life extending from the life draining, nut by nut. Using real science, clinical studies, and decades of nutritional data, I'll guide you through the 4 nuts that belong in every senior's pantry, and the 4 that may be causing more harm than good. And no, this isn't just about calories or weight gain. We're talking cognitive decline, blood pressure spikes, inflammation, and even how your body absorbs minerals that keep your bones and brain strong. So don't blink, or chew too fast. Because what you don't know about your favorite nut could be aging you faster than time ever could. Now, before we dive into the good versus bad list, it's important to understand why nuts matter so much in the first place, especially after 65. As we age, our nutritional needs evolve. We lose lean muscle mass, our metabolism slows, and our digestion becomes more sensitive. That means every bite needs to work smarter, not just harder. And that's where nuts come in. These tiny powerhouses are loaded with healthy fats that support brain health and reduce inflammation, plant-based protein that helps preserve muscle, fiber that regulates blood sugar and supports gut health, and micronutrients like magnesium, zinc, and selenium, critical for your immune system, bones, and even your thyroid. But here's the catch, not all nuts offer the same benefits. Some are champions for heart health. Others help improve memory. A few can even support hormone balance or circulation. And yes, some do the opposite. Coming up, we'll start with the 4 nuts you should be eating regularly, because once you understand what they do for your aging body, you'll never look at a walnut the same way again. Nut number 1, walnuts, the brain guardian. Let's start with the king of cognitive protection, walnuts. If you could design a nut specifically for brain health, it would look exactly like this one. In fact, it even resembles the human brain, and that's more than just coincidence. Walnuts are rich in alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid that has been shown to reduce inflammation in the brain, improve neuronal communication, and support memory and cognitive function. For seniors, that's a game changer. Why? Because as we age, brain inflammation can accelerate cognitive decline, leading to conditions like Alzheimer's and dementia. But studies found that people who regularly consume walnuts perform better on cognitive tests, especially in areas like memory recall and processing speed. But there's more to this nut than just its omega-3 profile. Walnuts are also loaded with polyphenols, powerful antioxidants that help neutralize oxidative stress in the brain. Think of them as tiny fire extinguishers putting out the microscopic fires that quietly damage your neurons over time. And let's not forget magnesium and folate, both essential for regulating mood and preventing brain fog. In fact, low magnesium levels have been linked to an increased risk of depression in older adults, a condition that often goes undiagnosed in seniors but significantly impacts quality of life. Now, if you're wondering how many walnuts you need to become the next Einstein, just a small handful a day, about 6 to 8 halves, is enough to give your brain a daily dose of resilience. Try sprinkling them on oatmeal, blending them into smoothies, or crushing them over a salad. And for those with sensitive digestion, soaking them overnight in water can reduce tannins and make them easier on the gut. So now that your brain's got backup, what about your heart? Because the next nut isn't just a snack, it's like a tiny cardiologist in a shell. Nut number 2, almonds. The crunchy little champions that your heart will thank you for. Almonds aren't just a popular snack, they're one of the most clinically studied nuts when it comes to cardiovascular health, which is a top concern for those over 65. In fact, a landmark study published in the Journal of the American Heart Association found that a daily handful of almonds can significantly reduce LDL cholesterol, that clogs arteries and increases your risk of heart attacks and strokes. Even more impressive, almonds may also help raise your HDL cholesterol, the good kind that acts like a cleanup crew in your bloodstream. Tea. But that's not all. Almonds are packed with magnesium, a mineral that plays a key role in regulating blood pressure and supporting smooth, rhythmic heartbeats. And for older adults, who are often unknowingly magnesium deficient, this becomes especially critical. Low magnesium has been linked to arrhythmias, fatigue, and increased risk of heart failure. Now, here's a fun fact to keep things interesting. Almonds aren't technically nuts, they're seeds from the almond fruit. But no need to change your grocery list. Their health impact is very real. Plus, they offer a solid dose of vitamin E, a powerful antioxidant that helps prevent oxidative damage to your blood vessels, a process that accelerates aging and disease. For best results, aim for 1 ounce of almonds per day, that's about 23 whole almonds. You can eat them raw, lightly roasted, or slivered over your oatmeal or salad. Just avoid the salted and honey-glazed varieties, those add more sodium and sugar than your heart needs. 3. Brazil nuts. Let's talk about Brazil nuts. They're large, creamy, and packed with something your thyroid absolutely loves, selenium. After age 60, many adults, especially women, begin experiencing changes in thyroid function. You might notice fatigue, weight gain, dry skin, or even mood swings. Sound familiar? Your thyroid needs selenium to produce hormones and protect itself from oxidative stress. And Brazil nuts, just 1 to 2 per day, provides over 100% of your daily selenium requirement. That's powerful, but here's where it gets interesting. A clinical study found that older adults with higher selenium levels had better thyroid hormone profiles, reduced inflammation, and improved mood and cognition. And the easiest dietary source? You guessed it, Brazil nuts. Now, a quick warning. Selenium is a fat-soluble mineral, which means more is not always better. In fact, too many Brazil nuts can lead to selenium toxicity, which may cause hair loss, brittle nails, and digestive issues. That's why portion control is essential. 1 to 2 nuts a day is therapeutic, 6 to 10. You're playing with fire. So, if your energy is dipping, your sleep feels off, or your temperature regulation has changed, it might not be just aging. And nut number 4, pistachios. After 65, maintaining healthy circulation becomes critical for brain function, heart health, and sexual vitality. Yes, even that. Pistachios are rich in L-arginine, an amino acid that helps your body produce nitric oxide, the compound responsible for relaxing and widening your blood vessels. The result? Improved blood flow, lower blood pressure, and better oxygen delivery to your brain and muscles. But that's not all. Pistachios are also loaded with antioxidants like lutein and zeaxanthin, which protect your eyes from age-related macular degeneration, a leading cause of vision loss in seniors. A 2020 study in Nutrients even found that daily pistachio consumption improved endothelial function and reduced LDL cholesterol levels, 2 major risk factors for cardiovascular disease. Pistachios are one of the lowest calorie nuts per serving, meaning you get more to snack on without overdoing the fats. And because they're high in fiber and protein, they also help manage blood sugar, something seniors with prediabetes or type 2 diabetes will want to note. So we've looked at nuts that support your heart, brain, thyroid, and blood flow. But what about the dark side of the nut? Coming up next, the 4 nuts you should probably keep out of your pantry, especially if you want to avoid inflammation, gut issues, and dangerous spikes in your cholesterol. 4 nuts seniors should never touch. 1. Macadamia nuts. Macadamia nuts are packed with monounsaturated fats, which sounds great, but they're also extremely calorie-dense and low in fiber and protein. That means they spike your calorie intake without providing the satiety or muscle support you need as you age. And here's where it gets concerning. If your metabolism has slowed, which it naturally does with age, eating calorie bombs like macadamias can quietly contribute to weight gain, insulin resistance, and unwanted fat around your liver and midsection. Plus, they contain very low omega-3s compared to other nuts. For seniors looking to combat inflammation, that's a problem. Sure, they taste like tiny buttery clouds, but so does cheesecake. And you're not having that every day either, right? 2. Salted peanuts. Let's be real, peanuts are America's favorite snack. But most people aren't eating plain raw peanuts. They're munching on salted, roasted, and sometimes even honey-glazed versions that are closer to junk food than health food. Here's the issue: salted peanuts can drive up your sodium intake rapidly, and for seniors already on blood pressure meds or managing heart disease risk, that's dangerous territory. Excess sodium causes fluid retention, increases blood pressure, and puts more strain on your kidneys and heart. Even more, some cheaper peanut brands are cooked in hydrogenated oils, which introduce trans fats, the stuff we now know is toxic to your arteries. And one more thing, peanuts are technically legumes, not true nuts, and they're one of the most common food allergens and mold-prone crops. That means you could be introducing aflatoxins, a type of toxin produced by fungi, into your system regularly. Number 3, candied nuts. You know the ones, those shiny, crunchy, cinnamon sugar-coated almonds at the holiday fair. Or that handful of honey-glazed walnuts at the party. These are what I call sugar bombs in disguise. Candied or sugar-roasted nuts are coated with refined sugars and syrups that spike your blood glucose, trigger inflammatory cascades, and add empty calories, all without any of the benefits of raw or dry-roasted nuts. For seniors managing diabetes, prediabetes, or metabolic syndrome, these sweetened varieties can do serious damage. High blood sugar accelerates aging, cognitive decline, and vascular damage. And if you're eating and thinking, but it's just nuts, you're unknowingly turning a superfood into a stealthy dessert. Number 4, cashews. Cashews are buttery, soft, and used in everything from vegan cheeses to stir-fry toppings. But beneath that creamy flavor is a hidden oxalate bomb, and for seniors with a history of kidney stones, joint inflammation, or gut sensitivity, that's a red flag. Oxalates are natural compounds that bind to calcium in the body and can form crystals in the kidneys or joints. Cashews are among the highest oxalate nuts, and eating them regularly, especially in larger portions, can quietly contribute to calcium oxalate stones or even joint discomfort. Plus, they're lower in fiber and protein than nuts like almonds or pistachios, and often roasted in vegetable oils that promote inflammation. So, while they may seem harmless, or even healthy, these nuts might be sabotaging your health goals under the radar. But here's the good news. You don't need to avoid nuts altogether. In fact, the right ones can be your allies in aging gracefully. Remember, walnuts support your brain, almonds protect your heart, Brazil nuts energize your thyroid, and pistachios keep your blood flowing strong. But knowing what to avoid is just as critical, because one bad choice, repeated daily, can quietly erode the progress you've made. So here's your challenge: open your pantry. Take a good look. Are your nut choices fueling your health, or quietly undermining it? If you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe for weekly, science-based health tips tailored for adults 50 and up. And leave a comment below: which nut surprised you the most today? You might just help someone else make a life-saving change. Until next time, snack smart, stay strong, and remember, your best years aren't behind you. They're just better fueled.